Good day to you peeps, my name is Scripps and welcome back to another speed paint. Is my window even closed? I sure hope so. But anyway, hi, and welcome back to the series that I pretty much exploit for the sole purpose of ranting about something that's interesting to me at the moment, or something that I want to talk about at the moment, while drawing something that hopefully might pique you guys' interests. So this time around we're drawing basically a Hollow Knight drawing again. I'm quite famous on this channel for doing a bunch of Hollow Knight drawings and for just being really into Hollow Knight in general, and that's because I am. But over the past few speed paints that I've done related to Hollow Knight, then it's actually been a lot of creative work that I've done, because I've sort of exhausted Hollow Knight at this point when it comes to content. I don't really have any more stuff left to draw. I could draw pretty much any character from Hollow Knight just because I've kind of practiced the style for a while. So I like doing some creative challenges, and this time around what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be transmuting the style of Hollow Knight into the style of Undertale. And you might think, whoa, that's a very peculiar pick, taking the style from Hollow Knight and putting it into Undertale, and that's because it is. It's a very niche style challenge, I guess, and it does come with its problems because it kind of requires the viewer to actually know both Undertale and Hollow Knight, but hopefully there's some people out there who take an interest in both games, so you'll be able to at least appreciate this challenge to some level. But to be more specific about what I'm actually doing, then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take the character design and boss design of the Mantis Lords from Hollow Knight, a boss from Hollow Knight. Not one of the hardest ones, but it's still kind of like a mid to early game boss, I think. And it's still kind of a cool boss because it's quite unique in that you actually don't kill the enemy. You kind of have like this respect for them. And there's a little more character shown through this boss in comparison to like the 5 knights that you fight up in the tower and stuff. So they basically got a little more personality so we can mold them and actually put them into the Undertale universe. That reason, and then also because I've pretty much already done these transmutation kind of challenges with some of the more main characters, or more specifically Hornet. I've done this with quite a long time ago still, but I still did do it. I did it with the Deltarune art style, and even though there are a bunch of differences, there's actually quite a lot of differences between the Deltarune and Undertale art style, then you know I still wanted to give some of the other characters some love, so here we are. And basically the reason that I decided to pick Undertale over like creating another video where I just basically took the Hollow Knight designs and turned them into Deltarune, which would seem more logical since Deltarune is the newer one, so it would like make sense to make content that appeals to that. But still, it's because I'm actually been lately I've been going back to Undertale. I've been watching a bunch of Let's Players all over again. I've restarted my Jacksepticeye Undertale playthrough for like the 5th time or something, and it's just so nostalgic, you know. It's just such a nostalgic feeling that you get with Undertale that you don't really get anywhere else. And I actually think that the main hole that I fell into was because the Game Grumps actually decided to start the game and play it not with Ross and Barry, the guys who are usually playing it, and basically Game Grumps is kind of like a gaming channel, kind of like a gaming podcast. I bet a bunch of you do know them. But basically, the main guys from that YouTube channel will be playing Undertale, and they're already like a solid ways in, and I've just been watching that. It's so nice. It's been like a documented live stream, so I've been watching that. And it's just something so unique to Undertale, the feel that it instills in like not only the players, but just pretty much anyone who goes along with it. And it's always interesting to not only play the game yourself, but watch someone else experience like just the crazy quirky weirdness that is Undertale in comparison to like any other game you'll find on the gaming market. It's very interesting. Of course there are a bunch of games that have like sort of been created as an offspring from this game or have been inspired by Undertale, so there's a bit more games like it, but still Undertale is still something very special, in my opinion, compared to other stuff you find out there. But that's also where I'm going to end that conversation, because if I don't, I'm just going to sit here and talk about Undertale all day, and while I would love to do that, then that's not the point of this video. Today we're here to discuss artwork, and to discuss how I'm actually going to turn these Mantis Lords into some kind of design that would work in this universe. And I actually have quite a bit extra to justify for, and I need to go really in detail with this one drawing, because one drawing's all I got. I'm very sorry, but I only managed to draw one drawing. I still record like one video a day, and I'm still going through exams, so sorry if this is all you're getting. I would love to do more drawings for one video, but I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to stick with this one at this point. But I will go into the extra detail to actually describe what I did draw. So basically what I did, I say basically way too much, basically, but what I did was that I took the Mantis Lord's design and used that as sort of a base. And that's the thing about Hollow Knight characters, they actually make a good baseline inspiration, because they mostly consist of shape language, but their very simplified art style and design doesn't really allow for much else. Which isn't a bad thing, it works very well for Hollow Knight, but what it means is that I can take these designs and then just build upon them to add more detail and then to create some more quirky designs out of it, because if there's anything Undertale is, if there's any one trait you could call Undertale, then it would be quirky. So, the first thing I did was actually remove one of what people would probably consider a very crucial part. I removed the bug part. I actually completely drove away from the bug concept, because I didn't think it would work very well. And it's not that bugs aren't or don't exist in Undertale, they do. We see it in Muffet and different stuff like that. But there's nothing particularly, if you think about it, really think about it, there's nothing really Mantis-y about the Mantis Lords. And the horns they have that actually point straight upwards, they don't really exist on real bugs. They actually have them kind of like facing forward, because you know they use them like actual horns, which would make more sense. So basically what I did was that I took the bugs and then exchanged them for a bipedal kind of like antelope deer design, and then gave them horns. And the reason that I thought this would work better is because we already have a ton of different bipedal monster creatures that are created by Toby and Timmy Fox. Not Timmy Fox, what are they, married? But I did know that changing the whole bug thing would be a pretty crucial change, so what I decided to do was that I wanted to keep their personality. I wanted that little bit of personality that we get from the Mantis Lords to be maintained in this design. So I did not just create like a bipedal, antelope, and then just have the horns justify it and just call it a day. I decided to have their nose pointed way up, so they would actually kind of be very snobby, and they would have this constant, very like, it's very serious expression, and would always be staring at the camera. They would actually all have the exact same facial expression to kind of indicate how identical to each other they are, and how serious and professional about their cause they are, which could actually be used for a bit of a comedic effect that I thought would work well with Undertale's kind of quirky humor. Because my idea behind these character designs would be that they were actually all three chefs. I would call them the three chefsketeers, or something like that, and they would be from Hotland, which is the same place that Mettaton would be. So during their fight, they would actually be doing a ton of like amazing poses, kind of like Mettaton did. But I kind of thought it would be cool if they were basically magic girl chefs that would kind of stick their forks and knives and stuff together to create ultimate moves or something in the power of good cooking, because this game has nothing but horrible cooking. So these guys are trying to come and actually create some good food for once. Or who knows, maybe they're like a fashion police, but just for cooking, because the main character screws up so much cooking during Undertale, so maybe they actually go after you because you killed that pasta in Undyne's house. Or absolutely screwed up that cake with Mettaton, so that might be why they're coming after you. Sorry, got off on a bit of a rant there, but that's good, it's good to get ideas going. But the idea behind the comedic effect would, in simple terms, be... Let's see how I avoided saying the word basically there, I'm very smart. But it would be that these characters would all have this extremely prideful and very professional face, all while doing these crazy, like, magic girl, or maybe like Mettaton dance poses, and their head position and their facial expression would never change throughout the fight. It would be like a constant, cold, never-ending gaze as they absolutely dance or pose their ass off right in front of you in order to fight you. And I gotta admit, I'm actually kind of proud of that. Because, you know, I actually feel like that could fit into the universe really well and just fit in with, like, the humor and tone of Undertale really well, because that's always something I think about when I try to create character designs or try to imitate some sort of art style, or, like, try to make them fit into the... I really want them to fit into the universe in its entirety. And while, of course, the problem would be to fit them into, like, I don't know, a story context, because Undertale is done so well when it comes to, like, pacing and stuff. But, you know, I still feel like these could be some cut characters that could be released or something, and I'm quite proud of that. And I'm also quite proud of the little touches that I did to make them really fit in. And I didn't even talk about those. But, okay, so I'll go over the small little details. In short, I kept the Mantis Lord's little carp that they have by kind of like imitating them or hiding them as this chef's cloth or chef's jacket that they wear on top, but it's just kind of like cut off. It's not like an entire chef's jacket, they just kind of wear it like a poncho or something. I also tried to maintain their very thin legs, but I didn't want to make them too thin to not make them disproportionate, but I kind of kept the line art very straight, and I used kind of like the draw straight tool a lot, and that's because the game is pixel arted, so I wanted it to kind of be easy to transfer into pixel art, so it wouldn't be all curvy and everywhere, because if it's all curves and it's all different bending everywhere, it's hard to put into pixel art, so I wanted to keep it as straight and simple as possible. And then of course the last thing to mention is that they all wear aprons. They all wear aprons with their signature magic girl like symbol on them. So on the left we have kisses, on the one on the bottom that's lying down we have magic, which is just kind of like star powder I guess. And then on the right we have determination. And I know you might be thinking, wait, doesn't something like love, magic and determination sound better or something, and wouldn't it make more sense if you like called the heart love or something? And I actually would if it wasn't for the case that a love in the context of Undertale is actually a negative thing, and if you've played Undertale then you'll absolutely know what I'm talking about. And while it still has been 4 years, so I could probably still spoil it all I want, then just as I see people like Game Grumps actually going to play the game now, I'm gonna hold back on the spoilers. I'm gonna keep that little Easter egg to myself, but you guys who've played Undertale, you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, that was pretty much all that I had for this video. I'm sorry once again that I couldn't do more drawings. I want to be able to do more drawings in one video and do at least like 3 different characters that I could turn into Undertale art. Well, I guess I technically did. It's 3 Mantis Lords. But still, I want to do 3 different drawings for one video, but it's just, you know, time pressure and the fact that I'm recording still like 1 video each day, it makes it a little hard, and it's likely not going to change anytime soon, even when exams is over, because when exams is over, and I finally move somewhere where I can actually, you know, do work and just, you know, relax for like a year before I continue studying or something, that year I will actually be able to record 2 times a day, so that means that I absolutely won't have time to release like 3 drawings in one single video. I have to be more sparing in order to release more content on those days. So, you know, it's just one of those things that I have to come to realize that, you know, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I don't need to force like freaking 9 hours of work into one single video. Maybe I can actually just be fine and be content with putting 1 drawing in each video. Maybe one day. But anyways, I'm ranting too much about the future. I hope you enjoyed the drawing. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you think the name of Chefketeers is good enough for these characters, or maybe you even got a better name, maybe you even got separate names for each and every one of them. I want to hear your guys' opinion on it. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.